All right, hello there. I just finished recording a podcast episode and I wanted to share how I've been playing with writing podcast descriptions using ChatGPT. So let's just jump right in. So what I recommend and what I've been doing is writing my own description with sort of the command built in. So write a podcast description for an episode of Happy Chemicals. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. For an episode about avoiding about the bad advice that is all over the internet about careers and how to build the life that you want. I share advice about doing trial and error experiments with advice, creating contrast, and even not trusting my advice in favor of your own discernment. I mentioned the 4 Myers-Briggs subtypes created by Dr. Dario Nardi and mentioned on the recent podcast episodes of the Personality Hacker podcast. Also add a call to action to join our Patreon, to join my Patreon at patreon.com /Happy Chemicals. Also add a call to action to download my book called Happy Chemicals, a neurotic memoir at bit.ly/Happy Chemicals book. Okay, let's see what happens, and then we can edit. So what I like doing is writing the description as I would write it with a couple commands. I make sure to write it in the voice that I want, so I write I versus we. If it writes we, then I just will ask it to change I to we. But let me go back and read this. Let's see. Welcome to our latest episode of our podcast, where we discuss the bad advice that is all over the internet about careers and how to build the life that you want. In this episode, I share my personal experiences with trying out different advice and experimenting with different approaches to career building. I discuss the importance of creating contrast in your life to help figure out what you really want, what you truly want, and why it's crucial to not blindly follow anyone's advice, even my own. I touch upon the 4 Myers-Briggs subtypes created by Dr. Dario Nardi and how to be useful in understanding your own strengths and weaknesses. But it's not just about listening to my advice. Instead, I encourage you to trust your own discernment and try out different things for yourself in order to figure out what works for you. Sure. In addition, I invite you to join my Patreon community at patreon.com, where you can get access to exclusive content, interact with like-minded individuals. So I don't have exclusive content, so I'm going to make sure to take that out. And if you're interested in reading some more about my personal journey, you can download my book. There you go, that's fine. So tune into this episode and let's bust the myths about career building and figure out what truly works for you. Okay. So you can see it's like trying to add, some sparkle. Take out the let me see what happens if I say we don't offer exclusive content on our Patreon. So I'm just going to say it like I would just like give direction to a account manager or something. Okay, so it kind of gave me advice. Anyway, let me see. Let me see if I can go back to... Sometimes it just helps to just copy the section. So where you can get access to exclusive content, interactive with like-minded individuals. Remove, copy. So we'll say remove, quote, paste, end quote, and see, try that again. All right, I confused it. Call to action would be, I invite you to join my Patreon community at patreon.com to support work and get access to early episodes. See, it just added more things. Like, I don't offer those things. Take out the added extras. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look at what I wrote before because I might have missed the part. Thank you for letting me. Okay. To join my Patreon community at patreon.com. Okay. So some of this is the challenge with how to give direction, and I'm not always the best at that. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to give direction. Let me try this again with trying to copy this and ask it to remove it. I mean, you know, the easier thing obviously would be to just like copy and paste it, but this is just a practice in giving direction, right? Yes, that's correct. I updated the call to action. Oh, my bad. I didn't add the command. Remove. I might have to restart this because it got a little jumbled. There you go. Perfect. I'll thumbs up that. Okay. Put it all together. Here's a completed podcast description. Welcome to the latest episode of our podcast where we discuss the bad advice. Yep. Okay. Looks good. Let's see how it goes at the end. Cool. All right. Let's see what happens when write it again with a casual tone. Hey there. Welcome to our latest podcast episode. Today we're going to be talking about how to take terrible career advice that's floating around the internet and how to build a life that you actually want. All right. Kick back, grab a coffee, and let's dive in. All right. That's kind of like, you know, feels a little beigey, which is fine. A little boss baby. Let's go with, give me a funnier version. And I'm kind of experimenting with like different prompts and words. All right. What's up, my fellow seekers of career wisdom? Today we're going to be diving headfirst into the deep end of terrible advice that's clogging up the internet. But don't worry, we'll help you navigate through the muck and come out on top. I'm going to be spilling the tea on all the experiments I've tried on my own career building journey, including some pretty wacky approaches that I wouldn't recommend to my worst enemy. Plus, it'll give you some tips on how to create some much needed contrast in your life and how to trust your own instincts, even if they're a little wonky. Let me turn up the brightness because my phone is dying, it turns out. And who could forget the Myers-Briggs subtypes created by Dr. Darnardi? They're like the Spice Girls of personality type, except instead of zig-a-zig-ah, they give insights into your strengths and weaknesses. If you want to support my caffeine habit and get some exclusive perks, join my Patreon community at patreon.com. If you're feeling adventurous, check out my book, Happy Chemicals and Erratic Memoir. So grab a drink, buckle up, and get ready for some hilarious career insights that you won't find anywhere else. That was fun. I'd probably use that. And then, take out the mention of exclusive perks. Again, I don't offer exclusive perks. I'm just trying to take your money. All right, let's see if it does that. Let's see if you want to stay comment. Show some love. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Title this episode. So sometimes when I say title this episode, it just gives me one. But I think because I've asked for multiples in the past, it decided to give me multiples this time. Navigating the murky waters of bad career advice, my wild experiments with career building. Trust your instincts, a guide to building the life you want. That one's pretty good. The Power Rangers of personality types. Understanding the 4 Myers-Briggs types. That's pretty funny. I'd think about using that one, actually. That's pretty funny. And that's got a little bit of SEO tingle in there. So, I mean, once I start, if I'm on the same chain here and I start doing multiple, it'll start to catch on that I also ask for a title, and it'll put the title at the top. And then start to tell that I want the Patreon at the end and I want the other stuff at the end. So sticking on the same thread is kind of helpful, and it'll learn. If you have to like log in and reset again, just restart and that'll work. But I mean, ultimately this is so helpful for me as someone with dyslexia to be able to write all of these things out and have a creative partner of sorts to help with some of the details, and then asking for a funny version, right? Let me see if I can just give me a more neurotic version of the podcast description, and let's see what happens there, and then we'll wrap up. Hey there, fellow neurotics. Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the bad career advice out there? Do you find yourself spiraling with anxiety and self-doubt every time you read a new article about the finding your passion and live your best life? Well, you're not alone. In this episode, I'm going to share all the crazy experiments I've tried on my own career building journey. Some of them were total disasters, but hey, at least I learned something from them, right? We'll also talk about creating contrast in your life and why it's so important to trust your own instincts, even if they're telling you to do something totally wacky. But and let's not forget about the 4 Myers-Briggs subtypes created by Dr. Darian Nardi. They're like a security blanket for us neurotics, giving us a sense of control and understanding an otherwise chaotic world. I want to show some love and support my neurotic tendencies. Join my Patreon community. And if you want to dive even deeper into my neuroses, check out my book. I mean, that's fun too. I'd probably use that one. So grab your anxiety meds or a stiff drink if that's more your style, and let's navigate the treacherous waters of career building together. So like that's fun on a creative writing level. I'm actually appreciating that. And, I recently said that AI is impressing me technologically and not as much creatively. And I think this is merging those two worlds, because I can give it a prompt and it will give me something interesting in return. So it is a collaborative process, and really trying to get the most out of it. I do find that if you write, again, to just kind of recap, if you write a short paragraph of your own description and let it extrapolate it, you'll get better results that way. And then when you're fine-tuning, to give it one command at a time, that I think is kind of the best. And then it'll maybe piecemeal, just like work on this section, and then if you ask it to like put it all together, it will, and then change the tone, ask for a title, and then, you've got some good stuff. So I'm still, it's going to have to take some time to see if this gets me better results in terms of listenership and stuff like that, search results. But for now, I'm actually having fun doing this, which I think is more important. So with all that said, thanks for watching, And if you want more things like this, leave a comment. Let me know how you've been using this. If you have any suggestions you would want to give for things to try or something unique or interesting you've come across, I'd love to continue playing with some AI tools and see what else we can share. So see what else we can find out, right? So that's it. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And I'll talk to you later. See ya. Where's the stop button?